Buying early is an absolute must for Leeds United this summer because it makes adapting far simpler. People are in at Thorpe Arch as soon as possible, and it's just helpful. And it looks like that is about to get significantly simpler as a Leeds United target has handed in a transfer request at his current club, which I think is very, very interesting. Now, this has been reported by Build, and they are typically very, very good on this stuff, and it genuinely does seem like a deal that we will be able to benefit from going forwards because he's a good player to fit the system that works, because he already knows the system. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But before I dive into the main bit of the video, if you fancy popping along to the Leeds Creator Cup on the 20th of July at John Charles Centre for Sport, big charity match, all your favourite Leeds YouTubers, the link is in the description. Click on it, get a ticket, £7 for an adult, £3 for a kid. It just works. Pop along, be a fantastic time. But the player that we are discussing is Nico Elvedi. Nico Elvedi currently plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach and is a very, very sort of interesting case. He's had over 300 appearances there. He's been there for a decent amount of time, which I mean, you'd hope for, having 300 appearances. Otherwise, he would be absolutely worked to death. And the interesting fact about him, at least one of the biggest interesting facts about him, is that he's played under Daniel Farke already. The centre-back has had a decent amount of time under Daniel Farke because when Farke was at Gladbach, he picked Elvedi a hell of a lot. I think 32 times, out of 34 matches, which is a decent level of commitment to have to a player, which tells me that there's clearly some quality there. Daniel Farke likes him, thinks that he'll fit into our system at the moment. There are just some wider questions that we need to answer, but he seems like a pretty high-quality option that's been very, very committed to his side. And in terms of high-quality options that are very, very committed, I noticed that you guys, being high-quality viewers, don't seem very committed to subscribing to the channel. Only 38% of you are subscribed, so if you're part of the 61.6% of people that aren't, it's one button. It's down here. Be massively appreciated, and it really, really helps the channel out. Anyway, back to the main bit of the video. We'll get the cheese out of the way. So why leave now? If you are Nico Elvedi, why would you leave Leeds United, leave Borussia Mönchengladbach, hand in a transfer request, and see where the wind takes you? First off, his contract is running relatively short. We are currently in the summer of 2025, and yeah, sure, he'd go on a free if it was the summer of 2026 when his contract expired. It isn't, it's 2027, but having 2 years left says that now is the time that Gladbach need to make a decision, or they run a risk of a severe drop in value next season, or the season after, losing him permanently for a free transfer. In addition to that, Premier League interest is a very, very powerful beast, and there have been clubs that have been in conversations around potentially wanting to sign the guy. So there's a big chat to be had around that. So, including Leeds United, another side that had an interest were reportedly Wolves. If the two teams are potentially looking at him, he's going, well, I could stay in Germany, I could stay where I am, or I can see what I can do. Because if you move to the Premier League, it is a bigger stage, shown all around the world. Like the Bundesliga, not the easiest league to watch in a hell of a lot of countries. And it'd just be really good for him from like a personal brand perspective, especially being a Swiss international, 56 appearances. You can make yourself an even bigger figure by playing in the Premier League. And it was reported in January that when Leeds were initially interested in him, he'd only move if Leeds were in the Premier League, which we weren't then, but we're going to be next season. So that definitely helps. Big question that a lot of people have is around the cost of signing him, and the estimated sort of fee number is in the £8 to £10 million sort of region. That is not too bad if you consider that yesterday we were talking about Kostas Tsimikas being £20 million. Elvedi is a proven international who has played consistent football at the top level. I would have absolutely no problem with paying £8 to £10 million for him, saving a little bit that we can invest in some other positions, such as the number 10, the striker, the left back, the players where we desperately need someone. Basically, the fee won't be too high. He's been at Gladbach for long enough for them to want to respect his wishes more than anything else. And when it comes to wages, that won't be too big either. Wages in the Bundesliga are not through the roof. In fact, I'll see if I can find out what he is on at the moment, because that could be of interest. So currently, Nico Elvedi come on, Capology, there we go, is on about €60,000 a week, give or take, which is a lot. Not £60,000, sorry, which is a lot, yeah, but it wouldn't necessarily go up with a move to the Premier League because it wouldn't need to. That increase happened after his last contract extension, which, fair enough, but I think he's worth that per week, especially since he can definitely add to us, because the question on a lot of people's lips is going to be, where does he fit in? My opinion, he fits in as a fairly significant player in the back line. A lot of people will sort of look at it and think, well, we've got Strauch there, we've got Rodon there, Ampadu can drop in. The issue there is Ampadu can drop in, not Ampadu should drop in. I kind of like Ampadu in the midfield. I kind of like his sort of controlling presence there. And whenever we lose Pascal Strauch to injury, which tends to happen all the time, which is the reason that we need a little bit of depth, it's Ampadu that ends up playing there. On the other hand, if you've got someone like an Elvedi, you've got three actual centre-backs, because Vobra is effectively a left-back at this point, and he might not even be here next season. But you've got three actual centre-backs that can play in that centre-back role, and if someone gets injured, fine, you drop someone in there. And if you get into the late stages of a match, say we're playing Arsenal 1-0 up, 75th minute, chuck on a third centre-back. That'll be great. You can change the shape in a way that doesn't mean that you are missing one of your better holding midfielders. I think the place that he fits in is the position that we really, really need, and that is really, really high quality cover that can compete with Strauch and can compete with Rodon for that place in the centre of defence. In terms of what side of centre-back he tends to play on, he's right-footed, so you'd assume he goes at right centre-back, but to be honest, he's played a hell of a lot at left centre-back anyway, so it's not going to be the biggest of problems. At the end of the day, we're looking at someone who has put in a transfer request that costs £8 to £10 million, so isn't too much, has played for Daniel Farke before, is a repeat international, has proven himself at the top level of football, being in the Bundesliga. That ain't half bad, you know. And over 24 appearances as a centre-back, he's gotten one yellow card. So he's very reliable in terms of playing safe, good football that gets the results without being a little bit too risky, like we see from players that will fly in and get themselves too many yellow cards. Gus Hamer. I think it's a no-brainer. If we can sign Nico Elvedi, we sign Nico Elvedi, because he's an incredibly good player that wants a move, that is at a very affordable price point and is experienced, and something we will need is experience. But as always, at the end of the day, that is just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's always massively appreciated. Should we sign Elvedi? Should we not sign Elvedi? Big question marks. If you enjoyed the video, pop a like on it. As always, subscribe if you're not yet. I'm trying to get the channel across the line to 6,000 relatively soonish. So if you guys could do so, that would be fantastic. I think I'm about 90 away at the moment, something like that. And even become a channel member. I'm recording this at about 6 p.m. On the 16th. I'll release the video early tomorrow morning, so everyone can have their nice little dose of Leeds as they get out of bed. And yeah, I quite like that little system. But you'll get the video early if you're a channel member, because I will release it to channel members as soon as I am done. Basically, as soon as I'm done recording, it goes out. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.